1.
Okay, and so to continue on, the hearing that we had to let both attorneys know that we couldn't find a judge on the case, I had expected both attorneys to work it out together so they could select the judge together on a neutral basis. The plaintiff's attorney had again informed me that that would not be necessary because the tribe would be picking the judge for the case. But they both somewhat made an agreement at the end of the hearing that they would have some kind of discussion about that, which I'm told never did occur. So towards the end of June, I got information from the Montana-Wyoming Judges Association that we had an attorney that offered services for the case. So what I did was I had the name forwarded to both attorneys to see if this is somebody that they would be willing to have hear the case. The plaintiff's attorney said he didn't have any problem with it. The tribe's attorney never did return a response to that. And so I just kind of left it at that to wait to hear further. On July 2nd, the Tribal Council received a motion from Shannon Auger that stopped all of the sitting judges and the court personnel from moving any further on the J. Sankador case. There was no reason given in that excerpt, and there was no explanation of why that came about. However, the same day, well actually the next day, July 3rd, I had said that that was complete court interference on the case because now the clerks could not even accept any filings on the case. And so I decided at that time it was time to report it to the Bureau of Indian Affairs. The couple of days after that, the tribal attorney and Shannon Auger got together, had a discussion about me reporting it to the BIA, and he then made a motion to the council to get me for blatant insubordination. And so the next week after, I had a discussion with the council, and they decided that no, that was probably wrong, and they removed that from my record and took the insubordination off. And so then we moved along in the matter, but in the end, that's the situation I described as if you're a defendant in the court, should you have this much control over the court system? And probably the answer is no, because you want to get a fair decision as much as possible in order for you to respect it. The process of recusing a judge is one of a legal process. So in the paper, when they say that the judge is excused, that is wrong. If a judge could ever be excused by the tribal council, you would never have a legitimate court system. They also wrongfully state that I attempted to re-enter the case. I have never entered the case except for the goal of getting an outside neutral judge for this matter. And so they were really upset that I held that hearing in early June to get help from the attorneys to say I need some assistance in getting the outside judge. And so that there, I think, was kind of a bad hearing also, because we had that as a scheduled hearing. But then the clerk told me, oh, Mr. McKay called Mr. Johnson and said he doesn't need to show up for the hearing because they're getting their own judge. And so I instructed the clerk, I said, no, I said, the attorneys do not run the court system. I'm moving forward with the hearing. Get Mr. McKay in here, and because Mr. Johnson is a couple hours away, I will get him on the phone. And so I let both counsel know. I said, we need to get on the record why this case has taken so long, and we need to move forward because it was an injunction that was filed, which requires a quick answer. And so with that, I guess what I'd like to discuss is we do have two authorities for the appointment of the outside judge. first of all, we have Ordinance 58, which gives the chief judge the authority to pick an outside judge. That was passed, I believe, in 1977, when they found that the chief judge may not be able to hear a case. And so they would allow another judge, I believe it was from Salish Kootenai, to come in on a case at that time. But also in conjunction with that, in our Constitution, the tribal council appoints the judges. So I tried to work that together so that everybody was on the same page, so that I could forward up the name to the council and then get an official appointment, so that both of these laws go in together.